today we're going to see chromosomal basis of inheritance, chapter 3 in Botany. In that, you're going to see the topic chromosomal theory of inheritance that we're going to discuss now. So before that, you must know what is chromosomes and what is DNA. So the chromosome, this is the chromosomal structure. This chromosome is made up of DNA. So the DNA, that is the chromosome, contains a compact structure of DNA. Okay, the compact structure of DNA that is made up of so many genes. The genes are located on the chromosome that is known as locus. Okay, and the DNA you can see here the double ribbon like structure, that is it is double standard structure, double helix. Okay, and the chromosome, the center part of the chromosome is called centromere. The upper part of the chromosome is called P arm and the lower part is called Q arm, and these two arms are joined at a point called centromere. So next we move on to the topic in detail. Chromosomal theory of inheritance. So Giger Johansen Mendel can be called as G.J. Mendel in 1865 had given a famous work, that is pea plant inheritance in pea plant. But at that time the world is, that is the scientists are dealing with how the life is evolved on the earth. So they don't trust, that is the genes are there that only carries the hereditary from parent to offsprings. So they tell what they had told Mendel, your name is Mendel and you are a mental person. So you are giving a wrong idea about the thing what you have did. So we won't trust you. Like that, after his demise only he got the recognition. So recognition after the rediscovery of Mendel work was done by three scientists, De Vries, Correns and Teschmark. So these are the three scientists who rediscovered the Mendel's work. They may ask in 3 marks who rediscovered the Mendel's work. So you have to write Hugo De Vries, Correns and Teschmark. So in eukaryotic cells there are worms, like you can see. So it looks like a worm only, no, it looks like a worm, that is it can be like an earthworm. And I mean giving the example of an earthworm. So it looks like a worm like structure. That worm like structure is called chromosomes, and chromosomes are in diploid condition, that is basically it has 2 sets. So 2 sets of chromosome we can name it as diploid. And chromosomes, that is how they are coiled. So in the chromosome the DNA is coiled like this and they are compactly seen, that is compactly tightly inserted in the chromosome in the form of genes. Okay, and these genes are arranged in one by one in a linear order, how you stand for your assembly. Okay, like that, one by one, that is one by one means in line order, that is called linear order. Each gene, that is the gene present on the chromosome, that particular position is called locus, and these genes are called the hereditary units. So chromosome theory, that is chromosomal basis, that is chromosomal theory of inheritance, states Mendelian factors, locus, and they carry the genetic information. These are the 3 points. So Mendelian factors, nothing but the genes present on the location, that is called locus, that is position of the gene is called locus, and what they carry, the chromosome, the genes are present on the chromosome, so they carry the information from generation to generation. This is the theory. So you have to remember the genes on the chromosomes, that is the position of the gene is called locus, and what they carry the information, genetic information from one generation to another generation. and how the chromosomal theory developed, that is historical developed. First, Wilhelm Rox in 1883 that chromosomes are seen in the cells and they are transferring the hereditary characters. So Wilhelm Rox says chromosomes are present in the cell and this chromosome only transferring the genetic characters. And Montgolfier in 1901, the chromosomes are in pairs, that is one pair from the mother, that is maternal means female parent, another from the paternal means father, that is male parent, and this takes place during meiosis, cell division. Now T. Boveri in 1902 had said that chromosome only determines the genetic character, determines only the chromosomes are carriers of genetic character from one generation to another generation. And this is this point only to develop him the chromosomal theory of inheritance. W.S. Sutton in 1902, he independently recognized the parallelism. Parallelism means the similarity between the Mendelian factor and the chromosome behavior. So what Boveri said, chromosomes carries genetic information, and Sutton says similarities between Mendelian factor and chromosomal behavior when during meiosis. So now these two scientists, Sutton and Boveri in 1903, they have independently proposed the chromosomal theory of inheritance. So what Sutton done means, that is Sutton scientists do means, the chromosomal segregation and the Mendelian principle, he united these chromosomal segregation, that is chromosomes are separated during meiosis, and same way Mendelian principle, what the gamete is segregated, that is separated, and again it fused to produce a new offspring. So both are united by this Sutton, and they had given the theory called chromosomal theory of inheritance. Salient features of chromosomal theory of inheritance. So the somatic chromosomes, the somatic cells in an organism is derived from the zygote by mitosis. So when that is gametes, that is male and female sperm and ovum undergoes meiosis, but after zygote formation it goes mitosis and produces somatic cells, and it has two identical chromosomes, that is two homologous chromosomes, one from the mother parent, that is female parent, another from the male parent. Okay, and these chromosomes are structurally unique, so they are different and they have a individuality through. So you have an individual character, no, like that the chromosomes are different from one to one, and they have individuality of their life cycle. Based on the life cycle they have individuality, and each chromosome carries specific genes. Okay, specific means special genes, that is particular genes only the chromosome will carry, is like that. And the behavior of chromosomes occurs during the meiosis. It has an evidence during the meiosis only the chromosome separates, and during the separation the genes will also got separated along with the chromosomes. So that is the evidence that we can see in the meiosis, during meiosis cell division. So the support for chromosomal theory of heredity. If a new theory was proposed, there have some objections to the new theory, like that some of the scientists didn't that is objected to this theory, but T.H. Morgan, Thomas Hunt Morgan in 1910 had proposed and support the chromosomal theory of heredity based on his work done in fruit fly, that is Drosophila melanogaster, and its chromosome number 2n means diploid number is 8, and it completes. Why he took the Drosophila means it completes the life cycle in 2 weeks. So only in 2 weeks he can that is the life cycle of a Drosophila is complete, and he crossed the alleles of red or white eye color on the X chromosomes. So, and the X chromosome contains, that is the X chromosome is responsible for red color and white is for the Y color, and the female has two X linked, that is X genes, two alleles of this gene, and Y has only one, that means 2X is seen in female and only 1X seen in male. So now what happened, that is meiosis and the chromosomal behavior. The genes containing yellow body and miniature wings are seen in the or carried by X chromosome or seen on the X chromosome. So this supports the genes are the chromosome located on the chromosome. It strongly supports the chromosomal theory of inheritance, and the genes linked on the chromosome, that is mainly linked on the sex chromosome, that is called sex linked genes or sex linkage. So now you can see that is structure of somatic and sex chromosomes in Drosophila. You have seen the male chromosome, that is first three sets are body chromosomes, that is somatic chromosome, and the last two set is, that is two pairs X and Y for male sex chromosome. The same way in female also you can see the first three set as male, that is female body chromosome, and the last two, that is two X's are sex chromosomes. So here a cross is taken place between red eye female and white eye male. So the gametes are segregated in here, and in the that is in the offspring produced after gamete segregation and fusion, you get red eye females and red eye male and white eye male. So the female contain both are red eye, and the male contain one is red eye and one is white eye. That means the gamete segregation during the one character, that is one X is from the male, that is male, and another X is from the female. Both are contains the same X linked gene. So the character is exposed, but here one X is from the male parent and another X, that is one Y. Both are from the male parents, that is one X is from the female parent and one X from the male parent. You get white eye. The same way these two also appeared, and it proves that the sex linkage and the sex chromosomes and the somatic chromosomes are linked in the Drosophila, and they are responsible for the exposure of the characters. So these are linked with the chromosomes and the genes. So based on this experiment only, T.H. Morgan support the chromosomal theory of inheritance. So comparison between gene and chromosomal behavior. And we all know the chromosome number is constant for each and every organism. We the human beings, that is Homo sapiens, have 46 number of chromosomes. So it is constant 1. And they are in diploid sets, that is the diploid eukaryotic has 2 haploid. Haploid means single N, diploid means 2N. So single N of chromosome. So one is from the male parent, another from the female parent. Like that you get 2 diploid, that is 2N, that is diploid set of diploid eukaryotic cell. So all stomatic cells of an organism carry the same genetic complement only. So all stomatic cells carries the same genetic complement. There is no change in the stomatic, that is body cells. Only the sex chromosome, if the sex cells gametes have any changes, it will inherited, it will transmitted. So the behavior of chromosome is seen only in meiosis, and it does not explain the Mendelian principle. So it is not explaining the principle. So it gives a new approach to the hereditary, that is new approach of genetics. Comparison. You can see the comparison of chromosome and the gene behavior. Here you can see a capital A allele and a small a allele. That is, you can see that 2 variation colors. One is in light color and one is in dark color. When they are crossed, the gene capital A will be exposed in F1 generation. and another recessive gene is suppressed, but in F2 generation all the 4 characters will be coming out. So the parallelism between the Mendelian factors and chromosomal behavior, the similarities, parallelism is nothing but the same. So you can see in Mendelian, the alleles or factors or the genes are in pairs. So they will be in pair. We also write it, no, capital T, small t, like this. So these are the alleles. Okay, these are the alleles. They are in pair only. So they are in pair. Same way the chromosomes are also. You can see here. You are seeing the 2 sets of chromosomes. So they are in pair. So the chromosomes are also pair only. So similar or dissimilar, that is same or different alleles. Separate during gamete formation. So same or different genes or alleles separate during gamete formation. Same way during meiosis, that is during meiosis, homologous chromosomes separate. So the same type of chromosomes separate during meiosis. And the factors, that is Mendelian factors, are sought independently. They separate independently to expose the character. Here they can separate, that is paired chromosomes separate independently when during meiosis only. But linked genes are seen on the same chromosomes. Okay, so the linked genes are present on the same chromosome, so the character will be exposed. That means independent assortment is not seen in the chromosomal behavior. So normally they do not assort independently. So the important aspects to be remembered about the chromosomal behavior during cell division are as follows. The first point is the alleles of a genotype are found in the same locus of the homologous chromosome, capital A or small a. So if a chromosome contains capital A and small a in the same locus, the alleles of the genotype, same locus, they will be present. So that means the chromosomal behavior, that is, it is seen in the cell division and it will be inherited to the next offspring also. In the S phase, that is in meiosis, you have in synthetic phase, G phase, like that. So in synthesis phase of meiosis, that is interphase, each chromosome replicates, forming 2 copies. So they are replicate and forming 2 copies of each allele, that is capital A or small a. So one on each chromatid is doubled. So it forming during interphase. Synthesis means producing. So that time a single gene can have 2 alleles, capital A or small a. The homologous chromosomes segregate in anaphase, thereby separating 2 different alleles. That is homologous chromosome in anaphase of meiosis and one separate the different alleles. So capital A separately and small a separately. In anaphase 2 of meiosis, the separation of sister chromatids of homologous chromosome takes place. So the sister chromatids are separated in anaphase 2 of meiosis. That is in meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 is there. In meiosis 1, the genes are separated. That is the different alleles. Capital A is separated and small a is separated. Likewise, in anaphase 2 of meiosis, the sister chromatids, that is the same chromatids are sister chromatids are separated, or same chromatids or separation takes place. So each daughter cell carries only one single gene. So after the completion of, you are getting from the meiosis, you are getting 4 daughter cells. The 4 daughter cells means capital A, that is capital A separately. One capital A separate, another capital A separate, like that. Small a separately, one small a separately and one small a separately. Like this we are getting down in the meiosis. The chromosomal behavior is seen in it, and you can see the picture. So this is the meiosis diagram, and you can see the picture which contains the single gene, that is they are segregated. So this here you can see the all are in 4, and again the division starts, and it starts to produce different alleles, that is A, B, that is A, capital A, separate alleles are seen here from this. So You can see it is an idea, but it is not in your book. So the number of chromosomes they may ask in 1 mark here. So first one is adder's tongue fern, Hopioglossum. So the number of chromosomes that is in 2n is 1262. Horsetail ecosystem 216216. Giant Shekosha 22. Arabidopsis 10. Sugarcane 80. Apple 34. Rice 24. Potato 48. Maize 20. Onion 16. Haplobacillus gracilis 4. And they may ask the highest number of chromosomes is seen in Hopioglossum, that is adder's tongue of fern, and the least chromosome is seen in Haplobacillus gracilis. These two may ask in 1 mark. So please remember it. From the other than this also they can ask, but the least one and highest one they will ask, and that is necessarily usually. And you must know some of the things about the T.H. Morgan. Thomas Hunt Morgan in 1933, he had received the Nobel Prize for the physiology, that is physiology or medicine, for his discoveries concern the role played by the chromosomes in the hereditary. So for the chromosomes in hereditary, how it plays an important role. Okay, for that work he had got the Nobel Prize in 1933. And fossil genes. What is fossils? The sedimented particle, the sedimented organisms or sedimented in the rocks, they are considered as fossils. And now the present we are talking about the archaeology department, which is seen in Heredity. So they are getting so many skeletal portions, that is the entire skeletal human bodies they are discovering from the Heredity, and so many evidences are there how the civilization was there. So like that, so when they took the human body with full human body, which is not with a full human body, and they had taken for the forensic report for getting the fossil genes, how when they had evolved and what happened, what is the reason to get a full body, that is full body with the bones, without decomposition of the bones. So that fossil genes, that is, it is also called as junk DNA. So junk foods are the packet foods. We heard about it. Junk foods are packet foods. So junk DNA means the fossil genes are junk, that is put it in the packets, that is in the as rocks. It is called junk DNA, and they can also called as pseudo genes, and they can once upon a time they were the working genes. Okay, once upon a time they are working because they are living. No, now they are in fossil conditions, they are fossilized, and they lost the proteins. Due to the proteins they are in the junk form, that is fossilized. So these fossil genes tells the story of the fossilized parts of the world, or the evolution, how the people, that is how the organism lived before, not now, before, in the past, how they had lived in the world. So it gives the evidences about it. So fossil genes they may ask in 2 marks. So fossil genes are nothing but the junked genes, and they give the story of the evolution of the world. And once upon a time they are living in the world, they are living. Why they lost the capacity means they lost the proteins in the genes. Okay. And I had given some of the questions related to the topic. Write the salient features of Sutton and Boveri concept, nothing but the chromosomal theory of inheritance. So you can give it because it is one of the important questions. And illustrate the support of chromosomal theory based on T.H. Morgan view. That you have to explain with the Drosophila I colored. Okay. So what are fossil genes? Now I explain. No, the fossil genes are junk genes. They give the evidence of the past evolution, that is past organism life on the earth, and it is the evidence for the evolution, and it is acting as a raw material also. And that is once upon a time it is a living one and it lacks the protein. Due to that it becomes the junk DNA. And discuss the parallelism between the Mendelian factor and the chromosomal behavior. There I had given with the 3 points, so I had discussed it about it. So you can write these questions and send it to me, or you can ask questions regarding this in comment regarding this, and you can put it in the comment box also. I will explain you. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel.